Despite winning 5 straight games, the Cincinnati Bengals have been eliminated from playoff contention after the Broncos did a demolition job on the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday. The Cincinnati Bengals are out of here. Now, I'm sure we can come up with a lot of reasons as to why the Cincinnati Bengals are eliminated, why they didn't make it. I have a few reasons as to why I believe that the Cincinnati Bengals are just not good enough and why they could not get it done. Despite a 5-game winning streak to close out the season, and everybody argued that Joe Burrow was MVP level. They all argued he was playing MVP football. Jamar Chase, Triple Crown winner. Trey Hendrickson was the NFL sack leader. These are all Bengal players. They just could not make it to the playoffs. Now, whose fault is that? Is that Joe Burrow's fault? Is that Zach Taylor's fault? Like, whose fault is this? It sent me into a spin, and I will point out, all right, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Look, one of the first reasons to the Cincinnati Bengals failure to reach the postseason is, I'll start right at the top, and that is the front office failures, right? I categorize that as letting the talent walk away or disrupting the flow and the energy of players, right? So, boom, you got the Jesse Bates. The Bengals had an inability to retain their all-pro safety, Jesse Bates. That left a big hole in their secondary. Jesse Bates isn't the kind of guy that you just replace with anybody. He is one of the heart and souls of that defense, and he's shown up these past couple seasons. And for them not to have him, that was a big loss. And then now, while he left, they missed on their extensions. Now, Cincinnati also failed to lock down T. Higgins in the offseason. While they franchise tagged him. They failed to give Jamar Chase a long-term deal, creating uncertainty for the future. Now, Jamar Chase, the bro just wanted a dollar more than Jettas. He had 2 years left on his deal. He just wanted a dollar more than Jettas. But Cincinnati has this long history of being cheap as fuck, and they didn't want to roll out the bag. But now, guess what? Even in this, I would call it a failure of a season. Even in this failure of a season, the failure to reach the postseason, Jamar Chase is the Triple Crown winner. He's the leader in receptions, he's the leader in receiving yards, and he's the leader in receiving touchdowns. That is not an easy feat. And now you got to pay that man for his goddamn services. You got to pay him. And then, lastly, DJ Reader's departure. The front office allowed defensive stalwart DJ Reader to leave, further weakening an already struggling defense. Now imagine the year Trey Hendrickson had, and if you add DJ Reader along on that line as well, there's so many what ifs, and they failed right there. What do you guys say to that?
One thing I got to say real quick is, unfortunately, the Bengals are going to have to pay top fucking dollar. They're going to have to pay top dollar now, and they could have basically got him at a discount. Like, they could have locked him in at a discount, but shout out to him for trusting in himself. And now he has to get paid, and he's going to get paid more than Jettas.
He took that insurance policy out before the season started, and this shit carried in. It carried a little bit into preseason. He started the season on the Bengals, Jamar Chase. He started playing right away. But he was out of training camp, and they was making his life difficult. All he wanted was a little bit of a bag, and they made it difficult. That that takes people off their focus right there. I don't know, man. It's very tough. What are you saying, dude?
I think you really covered all the bases. The front office failed terribly, and you know this because season's over, it's all done, and the finger pointing starts. They fired the defensive coordinator, they fired the linebackers coach, they fired the defensive line coach, they fired the offensive line coach. They're like, you messed it up, you messed it up, you messed it up, instead of just taking accountability, which front offices don't do. So you hit the nail on the head, and it's this is just very telling. All these firings of these coordinators, which, I mean, come on, the defense was pretty bad, but the individual players there, like Hendrickson, Reed, Bates, like those guys meshed well with this coordinator. That's why they've been there for like 6 seasons. They've been doing good. But, it's one bad season. Your failures in the front office bleeds into this season, and fans are not happy, players are not happy, and you want to deflect the blame. So I think I agree with you.
Look, my next one, it goes right into what we're literally talking about, and that is the neglected defense, man. Cincinnati fielded one of the league's worst defenses in back-to-back seasons, ranking near the bottom in nearly every major statistical category. Every major statistical category. Outside of Trey Hendrickson, league lead in sack total, the Bengals lack consistent pass rushing support, and their run defense remained porous. They just didn't do enough. Even though I would say that defensively, maybe the unit came a little bit together in these last 5 weeks. I mean, hardly. Trey Hendrickson was making timely plays. Like, they made timely plays, and that definitely played a part in their winning. But in reality, Joe Burrow and that offense is the one that was backpacking the entire time. Let's just be honest. And despite the obvious needs, the Bengals made no impactful trade deadline moves. They missed out on all types of opportunities to add veterans. They could have traded for Azeez Ojulari on the Giants, or they could have traded for Calais Campbell. They didn't try to make any effort into this downward spiral that they were in during the season. They never tried to pull themselves back up out of the hole before it got too steep. They just never had any defensive depth, and that literally contributed to several close losses because they didn't have the quality of people to get them over the hump. They literally couldn't do it. And I would say, and then just to pair with that is the on-field struggles in close games with the Bengals. The Bengals lost 7 one-score games, including early season heartbreakers to the Chiefs, to the Ravens, and the Commanders. If they would have beat the Chiefs, if they would have beat the Ravens, like, you don't know what type of morale booster that is for your team, for just everybody around you. If you could beat the Chiefs in a close one, if you could go and beat Patty, come on, bro. It just wasn't good enough. I got to be honest. Their 0-3 start and their 1-4 stretch midway through the season left them with little margin of error down the stretch. I just think the whole organization failed. The entire fucking operation. And I'll add that people have been comparing this era of quarterbacks as Patrick Mahomes is the Tom Brady of this era of quarterbacks, right? Hear me out, fellas. Hear me out. He is the Tom Brady, and now when you look to Joe Burrow, you say, okay, well, who's Joe Burrow? So then they say Peyton Manning. Now, let me tell you something. Peyton Manning was way too fucking good. Joe Burrow, I mean, the eye test tells you he's way too fucking good, but you just missed the postseason twice in a row.
That's not a good look.
You ever see Peyton Manning miss the postseason twice in a row?
That is not a good look.
I can't jack your Peyton Manning.
I
can't jack that. Better yet, if you want to be a Manning, Joe Burrow, we'll make you the other one. You could be Eli.
Chill.
Eli Manning because Eli Manning sometimes made the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? You get where I'm going. He sometimes made the playoffs. Like, so why would I call you Peyton Manning, bro? Why would I do it? You're not that guy, buddy. You're not that guy. Come on, I'm cooking right now because I really believe that because when Eli Manning got in the playoffs, he put fear in them boys. And then what? What do we think about Joe Burrow? If Joe Burrow that's what they said. You don't want Joe Burrow to get in the playoffs. It's gonna be scary. Of course, he puts fear in niggas' hearts. That's all Joe Burrow's good for right now, bro. He's a boogeyman. He's a boogeyman, bro, but he's not on a consistent level as the other quarterbacks. I'm sorry. Sure, the numbers are there, but how can I call you elite of the elite? How can I call you the top of the top? And you're already in Cancun, my guy. You're already in Cancun.
I agree, man. I mean, he was you know what he reminds me of? He's like Giannis before getting in the ring, you know, like he's putting up these amazing numbers, but he's just not getting it done. Like it's really just been on the decline since that Rams chip. You know? Like it's tough, man. Don't get me wrong. I respect Joey B, but the Peyton Manning comparisons need to end. You know,
it gotta end. He's cooked.
Peyton Manning did damn near like triple those stats. You know what I'm saying? With one less game, with 16 game seasons, not even 17. Like people are not fathoming how good, not even how great Peyton Manning was. You know, with I could say arguably less weapons.
Absolutely. Wait, no, I don't know. Less weapons? Nah.
It's arguably.
That nigga had Reggie Wayne. That nigga had Marvin Harrison. That nigga had damn. Look, we fucking showing our age. What's bro? He had Marshall Faulk. Fuck no, that nigga was lit. Yo, he was lit. But it doesn't matter though. So does Joe Burrow got T. Higgins. Yeah. He got Jamar Chase. You got boys.
In short, with those weapons, he did what he was supposed to do.
He had Mixon.
I think
Chase Brown's no slouch. Come on, man. He got talent.
I think, you know, what I was saying in the group chat earlier, I think Myles Garrett got to go to the Bengals.
You jacking that? Nah, I don't think. I think Myles Garrett is so loyal to the soil. I don't think he would ever pull a fucking safe.
Nah, he's out of there. He's out of there.
Even if he's out of there, I just don't. I don't see him staying in the North. And I feel like guys that are like in these colder areas, they probably want to go somewhere a little bit warmer. You know what I'm saying?
He's a freak of nature, so you never know with that guy.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He's a
That's definitely a fact.
The Ravens is the new hub for the people, you know, that want to see a better life.
That's that Lamar effect, man. You see what happens? Niggas gravitate to real niggas. That's really what it is. People gravitate to real niggas like Lamar. Hey, man, that is enough of this Cincinnati Bengals dumpster fire. That's enough of the enough.
Who got my back? Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got that swerve? I got that swerve.